Welcome to Dodgers Daily. Casey Porter here. So glad that you decided to tune in. It is Friday. That means Coach Holt joins us. So super excited to talk to Coach Holt, get his take on some of the stuff that is happening in the Dodgers system right now. So, hey, Coach, first of all, sweet shirt. I've seen the hat before, have not seen the shirt. That is awesome.
Yeah, I love it. Ordered it from online. They send me all kinds of stuff now, so I order all my Dodger stuff online. So I get it all now.
That is absolutely fantastic.
Yes,
and
sir.
First of all, your brother Rex is in the Hall of Fame. Well, we can't go there, but I wanted to congratulate your brother Ron on a fantastic career as well.
Yeah, they've done great things. Print media with Ron and Rex doing both, actually, print media and doing the radio for Oklahoma State Cowboy baseball and Oklahoma State Cowboy wrestling, as well as the local high school stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of those guys. They're great brothers and great at what they do.
Yeah, it's been a long time since the second story of 9th Street over there with KSBI and in all those days with Bill Platt and then Rex doing the baseball and Ron and you doing all the well, of course, and then Rex did some print media too. So boy, that was a fun time back then. But yeah, well, we'll get into that a little bit more probably next week. But hey, let's get to the Dodgers, Coach.
Okay.
Lots to talk about. Last night obviously wasn't pretty, but hey, the Dodgers, they have 3 games left. They're at 98 wins. So it is what it is. You're looking. It's kind of like this is more like a spring training type feel to it, where you're looking more for signs that will translate to postseason success than you are necessarily wins overall. So just the fact that you didn't win last night isn't the biggest. That's not the biggest concern. The biggest concern is, in my opinion, that you come out of last night with is, can the Dodgers win a World Series without a left-handed reliever? Ryanyarbrough open. Okay, so the last 2 openers from lefties have been Calebferguson and Ryanyarbrough. Both of them, I think it's pretty fair to say they've both been pretty disastrous as far as those openers have been. Last night, Ryanyarbrough, 9 runs, 11 hits. Calebferguson, his appearance before in the opener, he struggled, and then last night he gave up 4 runs in a third of an inning again. So, hey, is there a left-handed reliever that you trust in this Dodgers system right now in a playoff setting? And if so, or if not, can the Dodgers win a World Series without a left-handed reliever?
Well, the first thing you'd say as a coach is, no, you can't win without a left-handed reliever, but you got to at least have one. I don't see how. I guess like I said, it's not 1988 again, and Kirk Gibson ain't gonna come out limping out of the dugout and hit a home run off of Eckersley. So you can't bank on things like that. But I probably maybe wrong. I still trust Yarbrough. I know his start wasn't good, but I think his body of work for the year I probably lean more towards that. But, I like Ferguson too. It's not that I don't like him, but if you had to pick one of those guys, I'd probably pick Yarbrough. And I've been wrong many times. Maybe that'd be wrong too. But that's probably where I'd go. And I think you got to have at least one lefty, Casey, once in a while to come in and throw something dirty to a left-handed hitter.
Yeah, so I've seen you do this a million times, but hey, it's kind of the old high school rule. Do you play the matchups? This team, it just seems like this team hasn't played matchups in the sense that they've just kind of haven't really had the personnel to get comfortable enough and settled in enough to be able to play matchups. So it's kind of just been, hey, throw the best guy you have available out there, the old high school philosophy, So this seems like a postseason to where you just say to hell with it. You throw all that to the wind and you say, hey, who is the best pitcher or the best pinch hitter regardless of matchups that I have available? Who's the best dude I've got? And put that guy in. It seems like that's kind of how it's setting up.
It goes back, you need to get away with the computer like me and you've always done.
Yeah.
You go by feel as a manager, feeling at the time, a hunch or whatever you want. It's been going on for all the centuries of baseball. The managers play hunches and everything. They hadn't always had the analytics around, but I think it's something you have to do. I don't know. You get away. We get too much into that stuff right there. But I think just get back to what you feel and what a hunch that Roberts is going to have, and his coaching, his pitching staff, and his coaches and his coaching staff to help you make those decisions. I think I don't know. You get the high school stuff worked out pretty good, but as far as matchups, I don't know that we can. You could do it because of the way the playoffs are organized. You got time in between there. You spend more time on one team, concentrating. You don't have to worry about whatever's coming up. You got tomorrow's game's all that matters. I think if they wanted to work on some matchups, they'll obviously have the time to do that, but it also comes down, like I mentioned, 88 Hershiser, just throw him out there and just see if he can beat everybody, But again, the times have changed since then, and Tommy Lasorda's not around. Rest us old. But I think I don't know if they will do the matchups. They have time to do that if they want to, though.
I'm tempted. Hey, there's 14 pitchers on roster. You got to shave that to 13. Gavin Stone, Kylehurt is not part of that 14. Emmet Sheehan, who was fantastic, we'll get to him in a minute, who was fantastic the other night, he's on it, and Michael Grove is as well. I'm tempted to shed two of the lefties and keep Kylehurt and Michael Grove. That's a temptation, isn't it?
It is, and like we talked about every show, Casey, the Dodgers aren't where they are if these rookies hadn't manned up. On the mound and in the field, what they've had to go through. This could have been a lost season without those guys. I think I don't want to get around to rewarding people, but it's not so much that as they've already proven what they can do on the major league level on the big stage when the pressure's on. When you didn't have a 14-game lead, when you're in the mix of a pennant race, and that's big stuff there. And those kids were kind of thrown to the wolves, and they kind of showed what they're made out of. And I know we all love those young guys.
And the thing about it is Michael Grove added that cutter to get to lefties, which has been very effective against lefties since he's thrown that cutter. And then Kylehurt, we saw him the other night in Oklahoma City in the first game of the playoff series, of which congratulations to Oklahoma City. We'll get to them here in a minute. They beat Round Rock. They're headed to Vegas for the entire AAA. There's two leagues in AAA. You have the PCL, which the AAA Oklahoma City Dodgers are in. Then you have the International League. So the AAA team won the entire PCL. Now they're headed to Vegas to play the winners of the International League. I don't know exactly who that is. But Kylehurt was fantastic again. He had 10 strikeouts. So the thing about Grove and Hurt is that they both get a lot of swing and miss. And in the playoffs, when you're talking about big scenarios, that hey, get the guys teams are concentrating more on situational baseball, trying to move runners, get them in scoring position. When you can strike guys out, that is a big deal in the playoffs.
There's no doubt about it. And like I said, those two guys, those are two. I love Hurt, as well as the other, Grove, all the other guys we mentioned too. But swing and miss is big time, especially in the playoffs, because it's so. It's you don't sit back and go, well, we got 162, whatever happens, we'll move on. No, that's not the way it is now. If you lose a game, it puts you behind the eight ball. So you have to have all your bullets and in the gun and ready to roll. And Grove and Hurt are certainly a big part of that, and what we've seen all year from those guys. And I think they've got to be a part of that, and that's something the Dodgers need.
I think that's a little bit outside the box thinking, but it just, to me, the strike throwing of Michael Grove, he can reach 98, the cutter that turns left, the knuckle curve that he throws, and then Kylehurt, just the huge stuff, and then also just the way they're both pitching right now. Both Michael Grove and Kylehurt are on top of their game. They are pitching as well as they possibly can. Calebferguson is not on top of his game. Alex Vesey, I feel like he's getting ready to have, just a hernia every time he pitches. It seems like He's just so emotional that in high leverage situations, I'm just absolutely sweating bullets out there, even at a AAA level. So maybe that's outside the box to say, hey, let's shed two lefties. That way you can keep Michael Grove and Kylehurt on the postseason roster. But, hey, just wanted to throw that out there. Hey, leave a comment. Tell us what you think in the comments section. It'll be interesting to see how that works. Okay, so Emmet Sheehan, Coach. Wow. Well, this guy has to be on the postseason roster. You cannot leave Emmet Sheehan off the postseason roster. So I think that makes Michael Grove the odd man out, which since Michael Grove's been back, he's thrown 3 innings, 2 performances, and he's been just absolutely spot on. So that's kind of why I got to my topics about the left-handers, just a minute ago. Okay, so 6 innings, on Wednesday night, I should say. 2 runs. Here it is, Coach. 10 strikeouts, no walks. Okay, so, hey, we've always known that the Emmet Sheehans, the Michael Groves, those types of guys, the Bobby Millers, the Ryan Pepios, they've had swing and miss stuff, but what they've been able to do since they've gotten comfortable at the major league level is they've actually got all that stuff in the strike zone. Doesn't matter how good your stuff is. Doesn't matter if they register on the track, man. If you can't get it in the zone, it doesn't, major league hitters aren't going to swing at it. So I think of all, I expect the 10 strikeouts. I expect all the big stuff from Emmet Sheehan. Of everything he did, the 0 walks, I think, stuck out to me the most.
It's so much. I mean, it's such a big part of the game, all the way down to the little league level. If you're not walking people and you're getting swings and misses, that's something you wish you could just box that up and have it every year. But that's such a big deal of it. He's been so good, and all the rookies love pitching up there in Colorado, and that's not something you usually hear people loving to pitch at Coors Field. But those three guys went in there pretty well and pitched pretty well. Well, their last three starts, those three rookies, but. Yeah, Sheehan has been again. Hey, here's the ball, kid. Go get him, and he showed what he's made out of. So that's big for the Dodgers. Yeah, he's going to be a big key going into the playoffs.
Yeah. So Sheehan, the thing about him, while he was not walking anybody. Okay, Coach. Slider, 42 inches of vertical break to it. 42 inches on a slider. And this slider wasn't in the zone a whole lot, but Colorado did chase it. So if you wanted to nitpick Emmet Sheehan, I think you could maybe say that, hey, in a playoff scenario, a better team like Milwaukee, maybe more disciplined, won't swing at that slider, so you won't get the swing and miss that he got from it the other night. That would be a nitpick. And then his changeup. His changeup is absolutely elite, Coach. We've talked about this with Ryan Pepio. What most of these guys did in the offseason is they eliminated some right turn. He only had 18 inches of right turn to that changeup, but then he had 40 inches of vertical drop. So like Ryan Pepio and these guys, they're concentrating on getting that changeup going down more than they are turning right. And what that's really allowed them to do is throw it for a strike better and tunnel off the fastball. And because of that, he was able to throw that changeup with 40 inches of vertical drop for a strike 50% of the time. That's impressive.
That's huge. That's you're getting Greg Maddux type stuff here. You get that, especially that kind of move, and Maddux just get on his changeup and fastball.
Yes.
But that's a big part of baseball. Everybody loves velocity, but when it comes down to pitching, and that's usually what the problem is with young guys. They got 100-mile-an-hour arm. They don't know how to pitch. These guys, these guys have learned how to pitch along the way. Like you said, they're great students of the game. I know the interviews you've had, the guys, when they go back to Oklahoma City, they don't take it as demotion. They go back to work on things, and they went back in spring training going, hey, you may have a chance to move up sometime this year. Little did they know, or did we know, it was going to lose the entire staff. Yes, welcome to the big leagues, big boy. Here you go. But like you said, you got to take it a little bit because you're playing the Rockies, who they got major league hitters and $1 million ball players too, but they're not playing for anything. So they're not going to be intense like if you're playing somebody in a pennant race or obviously in a playoff situation where the intensity goes up, tenfold. So it's something that we look forward to seeing what they're going to do. But I'm excited about it.
You've been in this position a million different times. And, hey, you've got a position available and you've got some talented young kids, but, you have 4 or 5 guys that you're thinking it's going to be a rotation all the way through. And quite honestly, you're kind of thinking it's going to be a pain in the ass because you're not going to be able to settle on one guy, which, hey, if there's one thing that managers and coaches like, it's predictability. Even if it's bad, hey, at least I know what this guy's going to do every single time. If I know who my starter is at a certain position, every time I make out the lineup, I can work around that stability and I can game plan around whatever the results of that may be. So coming into the year, here you have a center field position. You're thinking, hey, is it going to be Jason Hayward? Is it, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Christaylor? Who's this starting center fielder going to be? And you're thinking it's going to be a carousel. And then James Outman just takes the bull by the horn. As a manager, I can't tell you how valuable that stability that James Outman created in center field was for this Dodgers team, because it was just one less problem that Dave Roberts had to worry about on a daily basis, and it allowed him to focus all of his focus in other areas around that and not center field. So the stability James Outman has created, I think, has been one of the MVPs of this team.
Well, I go back old school because I'm old, but back in the old days, they didn't. You had to be strong in the middle on defense. That was the theory. Catcher, second base, shortstop, center field. Those are your most, as far as defensively, those are your positions. They didn't really care if those guys hit back in the day. Of course, now you got hitters at all those positions, big time hitters. But that is a big. It's great to get that lineup card, Casey, just like you've done many times. And know every day I'm going to put Outman in center field, and I got a pretty good idea where he's going to bat, along with other people. Obviously, you got Mookie and Freddie. You can just print them on there for the entire season.
Yes.
But that's a great feeling, and I don't, I know you've talked to the kid, and he come out like gangbusters, and then he struggled a little bit. Like I said, they kind of learned some things about him, but he showed what he's made out of. That he's like, okay, y'all found a hole in my swing. Y'all gonna do this. Now I'm gonna do this, and now look at him. He's got what 23 home runs or whatever.
23.
And he's playing great in center field. Man, I noticed one thing when I went to watch the Dodgers in St. Louis. What a good-looking athlete. I mean, these are major league players. I get it. But I didn't realize how big and strong a young man is and the athleticism he has. So that's a great plus for this year that, Roberts don't have to worry about center field anymore. I mean, his kid's there. And, like I said, I know some people are calling for his head in the middle of the year. Hey, he needs to go back down. No, it's not the time to do that. And you did have Jason Hayward to kind of, I guess I haven't talked enough about him, the leadership he brings that club.
No doubt.
With his experience, and I've noticed Dave Roberts has said stuff about that too. But you did have Jason Hayward, knowing he's a big time major leaguer with experience and has all the tools to play that. So, but that's great for James that you're also able to for him to work himself out of that, and not be a detriment to the team. And I'll look at him. The kid's awesome.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's 7 for his last 10. Didn't play last night. One of those wonky deals where you go 3 for 4 and then you don't play the next. We see that with the Dodgers every now and then. But he hit home run number 23 on Wednesday night, double number 16. He's 7 for his last 10. He's hitting 400 in his last 7 games. And so, hey, let me ask you this question. With all of the rookies, it's almost like the Dodgers have been a quasi AAA team for many parts of this year when you're talking about all the different rookies: Bobby Miller, Ryan Pepio, James Outman, Emmet Sheehan, Michael Grove, Kylehurt, Gavin Stone. All these guys have gotten brought up. Is there anything to say that with all these guys together at once on a major league team, does that relax them and make them more comfortable knowing that you have your other buddies there with you that are in the same boat you are?
Well, those guys, I've never been a minor league player, but I know they're struggling. Maybe they're in Ogden, Utah, wherever they're at. They're moving up, and the next thing you know, they're maybe at Tulsa together, and we know these guys have been. I've seen them over there in Tulsa, and you've seen them in Oklahoma City and Tulsa, and that's got to be a great feeling, because they know what they've all gone through. They've seen the work ethic of each other. Maybe they've worked with each other, probably in the off season too. I don't know. I'm sure probably they're doing some of that stuff too. But that's got to make them feel great to get up there and, hey, oh my gosh, here's Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and Jason Hayward and those big time professionals. They've been doing it a long time, but looky here, and they don't hand you stuff at the major league level. The Dodgers, nobody else, they don't give you stuff because of who you are, who you think you are. You earn everything you get, and you look around and you see all my buddies, quote unquote, who we played with, maybe in the A-ball, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, and now we're here. Yes, that's got to be a great feeling for them. Good Lord, that'd be awesome. But they also can look the other guy in the eye and go, I know what you did to get here. I saw it. I've seen it, and you know what I've done. So they've got that respect for each other. Whether they're best friends or not doesn't matter. They have respect for each other because they know what it took to get where they are. I love it. I mean, I hope the Dodgers win the World Series. Don't get me wrong, but I love the kids. Of course, the Dodgers always had that great farm system. They're still proving to have that. It's been that way for a while, and it's good for us here in Oklahoma to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma City, and get to see these future stars. And we've seen a bunch of them already, so that'd be great for them to look around and see those guys, each other.
Speaking of that great farm system at the single A level, Rancho Cucamonga, they made it to the championship game, the if necessary game of the California League Finals. The Great Lakes Loons, they made it to the championship game, the if game of the Midwest League. Tulsa, they were the best team in baseball until they started losing all their players to promotion. Mm-hmm. And then obviously Henny got sick, so it was just kind of a perfect storm for them. They actually were the best team in Double-A, had the best pitching staff well into June. And so, they were awesome, and they would have been if they hadn't have got so many guys promoted, which is the name of the game. That's what you want to do, And then they wanted the Loons kind of to stay together. So the guys that replaced the promotions in Tulsa weren't necessarily the core of the Loons either. So it was kind of a perfect mix for Tulsa to not have as good of a second half. But then Oklahoma City, they won the PCL championship. So it's been just a ridiculous year on the farm. And then whenever you add into the fact that there's been so many rookie promotions to L.A., this has been the year of the farm system and the rookies. That has been fantastic. So it kind of feels like, Dodgers fans, the management, they love their veterans. It's so hard to break into this organization. as a rookie, they'd rather go out and get a David Peralta, a Jason Hayward, a Noah Syndergaard, a Lance Lynn, somebody like that, instead of trusting maybe 3 or 4 rookies. But it feels like that dam broke. It feels like the job that Bobby Miller has done, the job that Ryan Pepio has done, Kylehurt coming in with his electric stuff, the job that Emmet Sheehan's done, and then, the Michael Grove in his last 5 or 6 outings. It feels like that Dodgers fans, the Dodgers management, just the Dodger Nation, it feels like everybody's actually starting to embrace the fact that these rookies are the future for this Dodgers organization. It feels like that dam broke.
Well, again, I go back in the 70s, we had Garvey, Say, and Russell, in the minor leagues. They all came up there together, and then you throw a Reggie Smith in there, as you mentioned. You go get a seasoned veteran from another team or whoever you get to go in there with them. But, the Garvey, Say, Russell deal, there's your shortstop, and Lopes, you got there's your whole infield coming up together in the minor leagues, and they worked themselves. I love when I see those pictures, those guys in the minor leagues before they got there. And matter of fact, I saw one last night. I brought it great memories. But it's the same thing. Now, you can do whatever you want, but there's our guys. They've been together all the way up through the chain, and they're ready to go. But, the Dodgers, you can go buy it. I guess that's why it's a trade deadline. There wasn't a whole – I know they tried to do more than actually happened, but, I think these kids are pretty good, and, we can do it. You say whatever you want, but they're ready, and they just need the experience. So I think they've done a great job of getting those kids in there. Like I said, at one time there was pressure on them. This was a tight race back in the early summer. Those kids when they had to come on, it wasn't easy. There was a lot of pressure on them to perform, and they did. So no, I love it because us longtime Dodger fans like yourself, and me, and the farm system has always been a badge of honor for us, and what? I'll go back to the old days with Garvey, Say, Russell, Lopes. Hello, let's put them in there. And unfortunately, the Reds were loaded and the Yankees were loaded, but we had the second best team in baseball forever there for a long time in either league. So, it's a good situation, and it shows a lot of things. The Dodgers organization is what we already know it is. Us Dodger lovers. It's a great organization, and we get frustrated with them on the major league level. Maybe the decisions made, but that's okay. People got upset, me and you too, on the high school level. And the decisions we made. It's the nature of the beast. If you can't handle it, you don't do it. But those guys have done a great job.
Dodgers have been in Oklahoma since 2015 as far as the AA, AAA. I think that's also played a big factor in that with all the prospects that have been brought up, going back to Cody Bellinger, Corey Seager, and that whole group. Of course, Jock Peterson was the last wave in Albuquerque. But one of the reasons why this organization moved to Tulsa and Oklahoma City, first of all, the proximity. Tulsa and Oklahoma City, a little less than 100 miles away from each other. So literally, and they've done this before, a guy like Deck McGuire, he was actually in Tulsa. He got the call in the second inning of a game with the Drillers that, hey, there's going to be a doubleheader in Oklahoma City. You need to go get your stuff. You need to go get in your car. You need to head down the Turner Turnpike. You're pitching in the second game of that doubleheader in Oklahoma City. So obviously that scenario is there. But more so than anything, when you get to Albuquerque, that the elevation there, guys like Jock Peterson are hitting balls to the moon. Yeah. Well, you don't really know exactly how good he is as a hitter because you're getting so many of those elevation type hits at a place like Albuquerque. So they wanted to go to Oklahoma so they could get a truer feel of what these prospects actually are offensively and also pitching wise, because just the environment and the elements and the sky and all the meteorological type stuff match LA better here in Oklahoma than they did in Albuquerque. So I think since 2015 when they moved here, they actually do get a better read of their prospects now.
No doubt about it. These kids sure know how to handle heat.
Yeah,
I didn't handle it very good, but I'm not.
And cold too.
Oh my God! The summer we had, the hot summer, and you see them out there playing 1 o'clock game. But they're young men. They're in great shape, and they're trained for that stuff. But no, that's great. It ended up being great for me and you and my brothers and all those Dodger fans, and they won a lot of Dodger fans in Oklahoma. It's not a lot of people who maybe didn't really care about that time become big time Dodger fans. So that's great for locally for us, but. For the Dodgers, you better get in there. Execs can come in here anytime. They're about 70 miles apart. They're on the Turner Turnpike or a short plane ride, so they can get all their work done there too. It's awesome. I don't know why more organizations do it. They may do it. I don't keep up to anybody else. I really don't care what anybody else is doing.
Yeah.
But I thought that's a great idea what they've done, and and it just seems like it's worked great. I don't have any privy information from the Dodger brass, but I would think they'd love what they've done coming to Oklahoma and the way it's turned out.
Yep, they have 8 more years. They signed that 10-year contract. They have 8 more years on that. So it's just been absolutely fantastic. And also, by the way, Tulsa, attendance-wise this year, went over 300,000. Oklahoma City went over 400,000. So, hey, you mentioned they have won over a lot of Dodgers fans. Absolutely no doubt about it. There is no. If you've never been to a game in Tulsa at One Oak on a Friday night when the whole hill is packed and the whole stadium is full, that is one of the greatest places on earth to watch a baseball game in the middle of the summer. It's absolutely fantastic. Midland, Michigan, they put on a show at the high level. Great attendance there. And then obviously the people in Rancho, they do a wonderful job as well. Okay, let's get back to some more topics with the Los Angeles Dodgers coach. Second base. I think miguelrojas is your shortstop. You throw him out there, you need the defense. He's that fiery type leader that you need in a playoff setting. The guy that can give you a little bit of rah-rah to get some, maybe even sometimes artificially, maybe some energy shot into your dugout, or just to calm people down, to shoot some confidence into your team. So I think miguelrojas is your shortstop. You can disagree with that if you want. Okay, but second base. Who is your everyday second baseman in the playoffs? Kikehernandez. Okay, Kike was 2 for 4 last night, 353 in his last 7 games, 275 in his last 15, 258 in his last 30, so he's been good. He started out great with the Dodgers, kind of hit a lull. Now he's back to hitting well. Christaylor, who is 240 in his last 7. He is 250 in his last 15, and he is 281 in his last 30 games. Or Amedrosario, 368 in his last 7 games. We know the speed, the explosive offensive game for Rosario. Not as good of a defender. OPS 926 in the last 7 games for Amedrosario. So do you have an everyday second baseman? First of all, if you do, which one is it?
First of all, I love Rojas doing an interview and making a play. Hold on, guys, got to make this play. He's our guy. You want to bring it up. Well, if you look, explosiveness, I think Rosario. Like you said, offensively, he brings you someone. I guess Robert's going to have to determine what he feels like he needs, maybe to be different guys. I've always loved Chris Taylor. Don't get me wrong, I love Kike too. He's a Dodger, even when he's Red Sox, we love those guys even when they go away from us, like Justin Turner and all those guys. Wish we could get them back. You love those guys, hope they do well. And Kike's done well. I always love Chris Taylor. I get frustrated. A lot of times he's a lot of swing and miss, but man, he gives you great at bats. He can play anywhere on the field, but so can Kike. So can Kike. If I had to pick one, me personally, sitting here in Stillwater, Oklahoma, I'd pick Chris Taylor. But I also know, if I need offense, it's got to be, Rosario's got to be in there. So, that's a decision Dave Roberts going to have to make. That, it's easier for me to sit here with my Dodger gear on and chill out, drink coffee, and make decisions. But, I'd love Taylor. Nothing against the other two. I'd pick Chris Taylor, but I know there's some frustration goes along with that. But, probably need the defense and get in the playoffs, but you could change. In a hurry, and you can see one of those other two guys in there.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna be counter to that. I just go Kikehernandez just because, boy, of course Chris Taylor, man, he's been super clutch. I just like the fact of pinch hitting Chris Taylor in the 8th inning and a matchup that's good for him in a situation to where he need a home run or a big hit. He's just so clutch. Kike is clutch too, but I trust Kike at second base to give you more consistent at bats than Chris Taylor. I like Chris Taylor in the pinch hitting situation. Kike's clutch as well. And then Amedrosario, hey, I think he can spot start maybe in good matchups here and there. But of course, who knows? I mean, Rosario might be the everyday second baseman, but it's kind of like the rookie situation. I just haven't seen Rosario in a playoff setting. I don't know how that's going to work out. I have seen Chris Taylor in a Dodger uniform in a playoff setting. I have seen Kikehernandez. I've seen them both come up huge and clutch for this organization. So that's kind of where I would go. Maybe that's the conservative side of me coming out there, but that's an interesting situation and probably one that's not going to be consistent every day. It's probably going to be somebody different every day. So, hey, why not? This team, nothing's been the same for 2 days in a row, it seems like this year. Okay, so another guy, maybe Colton Wong. Of course, there's the roster call-ups. You get one extra pitcher one extra position player. We've talked about the pitcher that might get shaved off. The position player most likely is going to be Kolten Wong. There's 14 position players on roster right now. Have to shave that to 13. He had a good night last night, but any chance that Kolten Wong makes the postseason roster?
I don't feel like he will. I mean, I have nothing against him. I know he's been a professional for a while, but when you talk about all the guys they have in those type of positions, I don't think he'll make it. But I've been wrong before. But
yeah, who's he going to replace?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The ones we just talked about here. In another situation, you get in Rosario. I'm jumping way ahead, and I shouldn't be doing this. But if you're playing the Braves in a series, you're going to have the offense.
Yes,
we know, because those guys are, they're unbelievably off. You're going to have the offense. Rosario's probably got to play for it. You may take an error here and there or whatever, not be able to turn double play if you have to. But yeah, I don't know how you could put him in front of those other three guys we talked about. And especially with Kike and Taylor playing everywhere on the field, for the most part. And, I mean, I wish they could hold on to him because of his experience, but I don't see how you could take some of those other guys out and put him in. But,
yeah, that'll be interesting to see how they – and then obviously, too, the rosters can change in between series as well. So you mentioned, hey, and another role for Rosario, if the Dodgers get down in a quick 3-4-0 hole, hey, maybe you pinch hit Rosario for Rojas and he becomes your shortstop for the rest of the game.
Right.
And you just go on for offense at shortstop for the next 7 innings and you give him 2 or 3 at bat from that perspective. So, hey, there's a lot of flexibility.
Yeah.
One great thing about this year's team that I think last year's team didn't have, especially in the outfield, I think they do have options like that.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And they give you a lot of things you can do there. Knowing if Rosario's not in the lineup, knowing he's there, he's got to make you feel good. If I have to, I can insert him at second or short, pinch hit him here or whatever. And it's great to know you have a little offense, sitting on the bench over there. Hayward can give you some of that too, but that's a good feeling. I don't know how you can. You got to have all those guys. But that's what I mean. I don't know how you can put Wong and drop one of those other 3 guys out of there.
Yep. Okay, Coach. So hey, it's going to be fun. The one thing I hate about I do like the extra wild card because it does keep more teams involved. I think that's good for the game of baseball overall. The one thing, the byproduct of it I don't like is that for teams like the Dodgers that win their division, you have time off, man. Time off in baseball. Yes, you get to heal. Yes, you get to do all that. But baseball is not a game. There's a reason why it's played every day. It's because the timing is big, and position players, they want to play every single day to keep their timing well. I just hate the fact that these playoffs, the way they're set up, they give teams like Dodgers this time off, and I think that's a disadvantage for them.
The coach is coming at you. I totally agree with you. And they say we've even talked about football. Those people get those bye weeks. Sometimes they come out. It's like starting the season all over again. I know the Dodgers struggled with that last year, and I was just I was just reading some stuff that I know that they know they're going to have that time off. They're talking about having these inter squad games. Being in a competitive situation, even letting the fans in one day. I think they said the Braves were doing that one time. Even let the fans in to watch an inter squad game. They're going to keep it on a competitive level. And we talked about it, how they get them rested at the end of the year. They've done a pretty good job of that. They're still getting those guys work in, but like last night, they got behind, get Mookie and those guys out there and let somebody else get some work in. But I think they've got a plan. I saw where Dave Roberts said a couple of guys come to him, probably Mookie and Freddie, those guys, like, let's do this, with some ideas on how to keep sharp and, play competitive situations, even do something, I don't know, bet each other or something. You got to buy all dinner or buy everybody a new pair of shoes or something. I don't know. But make it a competitive where they keep that edge on. It's hard to do. You don't want to get out there and get somebody hurt, but on the other hand, you don't want them walking around hitting in the cage, taking a few ground balls and go in the house. I know they don't do that, but I know they put in more work than that. And but I think they've got a plan for that. But I'm like you and every other coach in the face of the earth. I still don't like that off time. And if you're going well, you just want to keep, especially baseball. It's a game you got to play. You don't need to practice a whole lot. And I mean, like now with our high school team, we got a great coach, Marty Lees, who's been a Division I head coach, has been Division I assistant. Every day we're doing fundamentals, and he told the guys the same thing. We're getting all your work. We don't have a whole lot of practice when the season starts. This is when you do all your drill work. You work on your making yourself a better player. I know those guys are major league level do that every day before the game. They never stop working. So they're always going to do that, but the actual competition is big, and it's something you have to, you can't replace that, and it's going to be hard even in inter squad scrimmage to really duplicate that. But at least they've got a plan. They know what went bad last year or what they felt like didn't work well. And that's what we all do. It's always a game of adjustments. I'll do this and it sucks. I'll never do that again, or I'll do it, but I'll do it this. I've done it for 30-something years, and you've done it too. And, you don't stand pat in this game or any other game, or you're going to get lost.
Yep. No doubt. Inter-squad scrimmages are great. They're live at bats. That's the best you can absolutely do.
Yep.
So far away from such a big difference than even just a regular season game, and an even bigger difference between an inter-squad scrimmage and a playoff game. So that is definitely a concern. That's where you really like to have the veterans that know what the playoffs are going to be like. They know they know the target they're having to prepare for. So I think there's a good enough veteran leadership group with Jason Hayward, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Christaylor, Max Muncy, Will Smith, and then all the pitchers. I think there's a good veteran core that will kind of let the rookies know the pace that needs to be inter-squatted with, or whatever they might be doing. So, hey, Coach, this has been a great show. Thanks for joining. I had a million different questions last week about, hey, where's Coach at? We miss Coach. We want him on every Friday, So I had probably 30 messages about that. So, hey, it's great to get you back on. I love the fact that you've already developed a fan base here on Dodgers Daily. That's awesome. So, final thoughts.
I can't believe there's 30 people out there know who I am. I mean, you know who I am. I don't think anybody else would have any idea. But I want to apologize to those people. If I let them down last Friday, I let myself down. I told my wife, I said, I was a teacher for 29 years, never slept through the alarm. I said, here's something I'd really get up and enjoy, and I slept through it. So I apologize to all the people out there that I didn't bring you all that Southern Oklahoma twang you didn't get to hear last week. It's back, and I look forward to doing it some more. And thank you guys for supporting the Dodgers and supporting Casey's show here, the Dodgers Daily, and myself. So that's great to hear. I got 30 fans. I'll tell my wife that. She'll be shocked.
Okay, Coach. Thanks for joining. Hey, now it's time to take a trip down the farm. Congratulations to the AAA Oklahoma City Dodgers. They are the Pacific Coast League champions. There are two different leagues in AAA. You have the Pacific Coast League, of which the Oklahoma City Dodgers are in. Then you have the International League. Both of those champions are headed to Vegas, and they will face off in a 3-game series to see who is the winner of the entire AAA system. So that is totally awesome. First championship in Oklahoma City since 1996. That dates back before Bricktown. That goes all the way back to old 89er Stadium when Oklahoma City was the AAA affiliates of the Rangers. Juan Gonzalez, Pudge Rodriguez, Rusty Greer, and that crew. They won a championship in 1996. I can remember it like it was yesterday. I was there for that, and my dear friend Eddie Days was actually a coach on that staff that I talk about all the time. We coached together here at Guthrie. So that was good times in 1996. That was the last time Oklahoma City had won a championship. So really cool to see Wander Suero got the last out. The Oklahoma City Dodgers defeated the Round Rock Express 5-2. Gavin Stone got the start for AAA Oklahoma City, and he was just simply fantastic. 6.1 innings, 10 strikeouts, just 2 walks, 4 hits, and he gave up 2 earned runs. It was a great start for him. Hey, and the thing about those 2 walks is that they both came in the first 2 innings, or the first inning, excuse me, and they both came before he recorded an out. So after the 2 walks in the first inning, after he settled down, he retired 10 hitters in a row. He had the 10 strikeouts. So after he got settled in, after about the first 3 hitters of the game, Gavin Stone was in the zone. He did not walk anybody for the rest of the night, and he was just absolutely electric with the 10 strikeouts. I've talked several different times. Hey, the reason why a guy needs some run time at the major league level, they need to see how their stuff plays at the major league level, He's that sinker baller that likes to keep it low. He's the guy that likes to move the ball, maybe a little bit more east and west. So there is a bigger adjustment period for that style of pitcher in this Dodgers organization. So needed to throw Gavin Stone out there just to see how the stuff plays at the major league level. And then you start making adjustments from there. Gavin Stone is still in that process, but boy, he was fantastic the other night. Kylehurt got the start in the first game. He was electric as well. Kylehurt was just absolutely awesome. And then we'll get to him here in a minute. Ricky Vanasco, hey, put this guy on your radar. He was fantastic as well. Just got promoted about a month ago to AAA Oklahoma City. Then Wander Suero got the 3 outs. So great pitching for Oklahoma City. Gave up just 2 runs to the Round Rock Express, who are the AAA affiliates of the Rangers. The Rangers always have great offensive players in their system. So it was a great game for AAA Oklahoma City, and congratulations to them. They're headed to Vegas for the AAA championship. This is Ricky Vanasco right here, and hey, put this guy on your radar. He's reaching close to 98 miles an hour. Hey, now the ball's not always in the strike zone enough for Ricky Vanasco, but boy, look at that little slider, and he has a great changeup. This guy right here, super laser focused. Look at that riding four seam at 98 miles an hour. This is a guy right here that the Dodgers got from, matter of fact, they got from the Rangers, and he came in. He's been DFA'd a couple of different times. It's been a whirlwind of a year. He finally got some stability to his schedule when he came to the AA Tulsa Drillers, maybe back in like late June, and then he got to pitch on the same team. He got a regular, schedule. Look at that nice slider. As far as he knew what days he was going to throw, when to get prepared, and I think just that stability really allowed him to take off, and boy, he has been simply fantastic. He's allowed 1 run since June 16th, as a matter of fact, and that is it for him. And his fastball has become, he just climbed velo as the season's gone on. The more confidence he's gotten, sometimes just confidence allows you. I need to look at him work the bottom of the zone there too. So you've seen him work the top and the bottom of the zone. Sometimes just confidence, and then then he tunnels that slider. That's a big time pitch. Sometimes confidence allows you to throw the ball better because it relaxes your body. You just let go of the ball a little freer, and then you get a velo bump from that. I think we've seen that from Ricky Vanasco, and he's the only thing that if you want to nitpick him, you could say, hey, he needs to get the ball in the zone a little bit more. But, hey, you could say that for every single Dodgers minor league pitcher, I think, at least at some point in their career. So Ricky Vanasco, put this guy on your radar. I do think you're going to see him in the major leagues next year because his stuff is really good. Okay, while we're down on the farm, I wanted to give a shout out to some of the guys that I think are the most unsung guys in the system this year, and I think that would have to be John Rooney, Alec Gamboa, and then you're talking about Landon Knack, Braden Fisher, and then I want to throw Jack Dreyer in there. Guys that, hey, we saw Kylehurt. Kylehurt won the minor league pitcher of the year. Very well deserved, man. Kyle is absolutely awesome. Landon Knack, 2.75 ERA. John Rooney, an ERA under 3. Alec Gamboa, his ERA is right around 3. He touched 99. He's that left-handed reliever. We've talked about the left-handed relievers the Dodgers need. You saw 2 of them right there, and Alec Gamboa and John Rooney. Landon Knack has been simply fantastic. He ended his year on the IL. There's a good look at John Rooney. Here's a good look at Alec Gamboa. There's your 2 most eminent left-handed relievers coming up to the Dodgers. Braden Fisher and then Jack Dreyer. I do not have video of him, but he was absolutely, if not the best, one of the best relievers in all of minor league baseball for the High A Great Lakes Loons. So these are guys that, hey, as the season went on, Alec Gamboa, John Rooney, they saw all their buddies getting promoted to AAA, and Braden Fisher still is in AA. They saw all these promotions around them, especially Landon Knack that you saw right there. All these pitchers were going up to Oklahoma City. Landon Knack was like the last starting pitcher to get moved up. He didn't complain. He didn't whine about it. He kept his nose to the grindstone, kept doing what he was supposed to do, got promoted, had a good time in AAA, had good success. So these are guys that just maybe got overlooked in terms of the promotions, but they're guys that were every bit as good as any of the pitchers that got promoted. If you just look at the way that they performed, they were absolute rocks for their team. So wanted to make sure and give a shout out to John Rooney, Alec Gamboa, Landon Knack, Jack Dreyer, Braden Fisher, and then also another guy I want to mention, Antonio Knowles. He was fantastic as well. 65 strikeouts in less than 60 innings. His average against was under 200. So Antonio Knowles was simply fantastic as well. So guys that maybe didn't get the pub, they didn't get the promotion in major leagues, and in Braden Fisher's case, Antonio Knowles' case, Jack Dreyer's case, didn't even get moved up to AAA. And if they did, like Landon Knack, it was later than most of the guys around them. So wanted to give those guys credit. Again, one more time, you have Alec Gamboa, you have Landon Knack, John Rooney, Antonio Knowles, Braden Fisher. Wanted to give all of those guys a big-time shout-out. Most unsung MVPs of the farm system this year as far as pitching goes. So there you have it. It was a very busy show today. I want to thank Coach Holt for joining. I hope you enjoyed today's show. And, I hope you keep tuning in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday whenever we're releasing a show. It's not always Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's what I try for. This week it was Thursday. Sometimes schedules get in the way. So, hey, I just, this show and this channel has grown, slowly and steadily. They say slow and steady wins the race. It has grown slowly and steadily all throughout the year. It continues to grow, and that's because of you, the great listeners out there that leave the comments, that leave the likes, that continue to help this channel grow. Hopefully we can continue to do that, and it will all be because of thanks to you guys out there. So I want to give you guys a big thanks as the regular season winds down. Everybody except for Oklahoma City, the minor league system is done, and the playoffs are getting ready to start for LA. So as we wrap up the regular season, wanted to give a big thanks to all of you guys out there for helping Dodgers Daily continue to grow each and every day. So thank you very much for that. So hey, that's our show for you today. So I wanted to say thank you for tuning in, and go Dodgers.